everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode on the show. Podcast designed to help you start thinking differently and take control of your life. Our guest today is Todd Cross. Todd, welcome to the show.
Oh, Darlington, thank you for having me on your show. It's a real honor to be a guest here.
All right, Todd, so I would like you to introduce yourself to my audience.
I am the founder of Silver Sun Consulting. What we do is show business owners how to grow their business using culture as their competitive advantage. It's a significant advantage in a world where many businesses don't talk to their employees, don't talk to their customers, and everybody feels more like a number than somebody who's valued by the business. This is important because we all have access to the same tools and technology, including AI. So we need something that defines us, sets us apart. I got here through a 30-plus year journey in alternative investments, hedge funds, private equity, venture capital, dealing operationally and financially with companies and entities of all sizes across many industries that we invested in. Oil and gas, alarm vending, bottled water vending, large multifamily real estate, just to name a couple of them. During that time, I built my fund administration company from a startup to a $2 billion operation and was recruited by ABN AMRO LaSalle Bank to help them enter the fund administration business. We grew that bank business unit from a startup to 14 billion before the bank was bought out by all the consortium that bought it and chopped it up. Since then, I've also bought a large cleaning company on the northeast side of Indianapolis. It finished the year 2020 at $1.8 million and is currently operating north of $4 million a year. I grew it using exactly the same strategies that we're going to talk about here.
All right, thank you so much, Todd. So I have some questions here for you, and I would like us to get into them.
Yes, please, go ahead.
All right, so you bought a business just days before COVID. What did that experience teach you about leadership, resilience?
People are curious about buying large cleaning company just before COVID. What a lot of people don't realize is buying a company is not a quick process. It takes at least a couple of months and often much longer to buy a company. Going through COVID, I didn't finalize the purchase until September of 2020.
Okay,
But
are you there?
I am here. Are you not hearing me?
No, I didn't hear you. What did you say?
I was saying that, yes, it looks like I did buy it right in the middle of COVID. I made that decision in the middle of COVID. Buying a business takes oftentimes months or much longer, and it took me until September of 2020 to finalize the purchase. But I was confident about buying it because it was operating in an affluent area of Indianapolis that was growing. It had a customer base of over 600. The financial statements for the business indicated that it had good profitability that would support my family. Based on those criteria, it made it easy for me to make the decision. Other things that helped is that Indiana is business friendly as a state. Indiana opened up for business on July 1st, 2020. And for many businesses, we rebounded quickly from our COVID lows. So by the time I fully took control of the business, it was operating at its pre-COVID levels.
All right, thank you so much, Todd. So you talk about the founder-led sales trap. What does that trap look like, and how does a company know when his founder has become the bottleneck to growth?
There are some definite indicators that the founder is the bottleneck. Easy indicators to see are the founder makes every decision for the business, big and or small. The founder signs every single check, responds to all or most of the emails and text messages, does all of the estimates, tells everybody who works there what to do, when to do, how to do it. And one of the biggest indicators that the founder is the bottleneck is, can that founder leave the business for a 1 or 2 week vacation, travel to a location where they do not have good access to internet or phone services? And while the founder is away, will that business continue to thrive? Will it continue to grow? Or does everything go on hold until the founder returns from their vacation?
All right, third. So, how do you transition from founder-dependent selling to a repeatable sales process that an entire team can execute without sacrificing the quality of the founder's relationship?
The transition is not a difficult one. What it does take is it takes building's trust in the people that work for us as business owners. When I work with businesses and I help them solve operational challenges, at the same time that I'm fixing their marketing and market position, they're standardizing their operations, I'm changing the culture inside of the business. The transition starts by giving repetitive tasks to the people that work for the founder. And then when we as business owners give those first tasks to the people, it's a relief. We don't have to do those. So we give the people who work for us more tasks. And over time, as we see that these people are performing well, that they're intelligent, they have ideas, they have solutions, we give them more complex tasks. For most business owners, we reach a tipping point where we realize it feels good. What a relief it is to hand these tasks to the people around us and to see them bring their own ideas, their own solutions to problems, and help us grow the business. When we reach that tipping point, it's very easy to keep giving operational tasks to these people so we can move from working inside the business to working on the business, developing a strategy, plans to reach goals. That's the transition and how it happens.
All right. So, third, let's talk about the cost of inaction. What is it? Probably known as COI, and how can a salesperson use it to help a C-suite buyer understand why doing nothing will actually be more expensive?
So not taking these steps, not transitioning to where the owner works on the business becomes self-limiting. The business will only grow to the point where the owner can control everything. Eventually, the business starts to get too large for the owner to sign every check, make every decision, do every estimate. Quality begins to slip. Things fall through the cracks. Delivery of services and goods is delayed. The customers respond by leaving, by going to the competition, because they're not getting the service that they got when the business was smaller. And they're not feeling cared for in the same way that they were accustomed to previously.
Okay, so why do companies end up discounting their enterprise contracts? And what can sales teams do to protect their margins while still closing deals?
Margins are all about first and foremost how we price our services. When we know how we price our services, we also can calculate whether or not we can deliver those services, those goods profitably. If we take in low-priced jobs or things that are underbid just to get additional work, all we are doing is creating work for ourselves, and we are watering down, we are decreasing our overall profitability of the business. It's easy in the world that we live in to always think more is better. But more when we are not profitable, more when there's little or no profit, creates additional work without gain. And if we are losing money delivering our services to people, more only digs that hole deeper. We need to stop digging and go after the more profitable jobs. That's one of the most important things to remember. It's not top-line revenues that are the number to look at. It's profits and cash flowing to the ownership of the business. Is that growing? And is there a healthy cash flow to the owners of the business?
Wonderful. Thought that was a wonderful answer. So you have worked across North America, Europe, and Middle East. What changes when you are selling complex technology across different markets? And what mistakes do companies commonly make when expanding internationally?
Well, it's very easy to think that we can always do everything the same way across markets and to overlook the cultural differences and the differences in values and priorities. When we move outside of our home market, then we have to really not only understand the regulatory structure, the political structure, but we also have to understand just the basic thinking, the desires of our future customers in those areas. We don't even have to go internationally to encounter these types of challenges inside of a large country such as the United States or Canada, Mexico perhaps. Going from one part of the country to another part of the country means that we're encountering a different culture even within our own country. We can only service those people if we are really delivering on what they need, and we're delivering it in a way that resonates with them.
Okay, so Todd, with companies rushing to commercialize AI, what separates an AI product that solves a real business problem from one that's simply riding the hype?
AI will ultimately turn out to be another tool that we use. Think of it much the same way that a mechanic uses a wrench to repair our car. AI is a tool. It's been sold to us as being able to do everything and replace almost everything. It doesn't work in the long run. It's not even working well currently in the short run. Current estimates that are publicized indicate that upwards of 95% of AI projects undertaken by companies are not profitable. Many companies, especially large tech companies, have rushed to replace workers with AI, only to quietly hire back many of those same workers later. It's hard to tell exactly where things will end up and what AI will look like in our everyday life. But it's fairly easy to say that it'll be another tool in our toolbox. Yes, it'll allow us to replace some types of work, but it doesn't replace everything. There's something very problematic with AI replacing all of the workers. That scenario it doesn't play out economically. We need employees to service our customers. Our employees are our ambassadors to our customers. Customers don't feel good talking to chatbots and AI assistants. They want to talk to real human beings. They want to talk to real people who can empathize with them and their situation. The ideal place for AI is at a support tool for the people that work for us. If we take the AI model as replacing people to its extreme, then we've replaced all the workers. Nobody earns an income. And then how can they afford to be our customers? We know realistically that extreme can't happen. But we also know that if we remove all of our workers, that model doesn't play out well either in a world where people want real relationships with people. They want to talk to people. That has been my message, is that is your unfair competitive advantage. To really have people talk to people, have those relationships, because relationships are sticky. And sticky relationships help us keep our employees and our customers.
Okay, thank you so much. This has been so wonderful, Todd. After more than 20 years and tens of millions of dollars in enterprise revenue, what is the single biggest lesson you have learned about building a sales engine that can produce reputable growth?
Sales engines are an attempt to do at scale what people have done since the beginning of time. Communicate with other people, communicate our value of what we offer and why it would be of interest to the people. So these large sales engines are, what they're doing is they're scaling that upward to reach more people, to get the message out. They're doing it in an automated way, but it isn't always working because the returns on much of this are low. Companies are reaching to thousands and tens of thousands of people to get their message out. In many ways, even in the sales process, we've stopped talking to each other. We're sending text messages that are automated, emails that are automated, and everything from videos and ads popping up when we are online, especially on social media. But the calculated return on much of this is extremely low. The actual depth of the connection with the people that respond is very small. There's no loyalty factor there. There's nothing to really get the customers that we're finding in this manner to want to stay and be loyal to us. We're creating an economy where it's a race to the bottom on price.
Okay, so finally, for those who would like to connect with you and learn more about what you do, how can they do that?
Go to www.silversunconsulting.com. Sun is S-U-N. On the About page, you'll find my personal email address and my cell phone number. Call me. I will show you how to grow your company and how to install a culture that beats the competition every time. You didn't go into business ownership to become your company's busiest and most important employee. You went into business ownership to have financial freedom, flexibility in your schedule, to create something of value, and to leave a legacy. So give me a call and I'll help you get there.
Okay, thank you so much, Todd. This has been so wonderful. And to my audience, if this episode is speaking to you, make sure you share it with someone out there who needs to hear this. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye, guys. Thank you, Todd.
Thank you so much.